and the reason why I went to SAS, it's almost like an encore career, is because 26%, this is what sold me, 26% of their revenue goes back in R&D. That's high. I've checked around a lot of different companies, corporations, whatever, that's pretty high, 26%. But this is a little bit of a different presentation. I want to talk a little bit, the old coach back in the 70s and early 80s, when I coached, when I started going through it. I had to sit through the projector times with film. And my old boss, Coach Ravley, out of Washington State, this is what he liked. He liked that projector and back, and all the football coaches, everybody, that's all they had. When we went to video finally, and we were like, oh man, this is great. This is like the best thing's ever happened. He fought it. He wanted everything from video transferred back to film for a year at Washington State. We had to do that. Finally, we convinced them, and then we finally went to the video age when we went to Iowa, University of Iowa. Thank goodness. And they had things lined up there where we went on and take 8-9 games a night. This is back in the middle 80s. So we had video on all these teams, because when we make the NCAA tournament, and no matter who we play, we're going to have tape on them right away. So we got him changed to that at least, So we went for the film, the video, and then right on up through the line to what we have today. I mean, I'm out recruiting in the late 70s and 80s, and even in the early 90s. There's no GPS. There's no cell phones. You're going in Timbuktu and you're stopping at a store asking for directions or whatever. You're going to make a phone call, you're punching in your credit card number, the phone, operator, the whole deal. Everything revolves around that. You had to make time to do those things. So now we are where we're at. I had hard copy. I had hard copy stats going in at halftime. We didn't get them at timeouts back then. We had basic stats. And this. We looked at them, made our adjustments, go out and play the second half. Now, you'll see people it's only a matter of time now where the iPads will be on the benches in colleges. They're already in the pros. And you'll have, you name it, they got every stat that you can think of now. I just wish we had some of that back then. We did. I was concerned about shooting percentage. I was concerned about the rebounding stats. My biggest thing was the assist turnover ratio. And they're all still big today. But that was big for me and our coach when I was assistant and as head coach. I wanted to know those numbers. The number one thing, and this is, if you don't take anything away from today, take this, okay? This stuck with me when I heard this at a camp years ago when I was a young coach. Hubie Brown. You've heard Hubie Brown? Okay, Hall of Famer, coach, still does NBA analyst, whatever. Brilliant mind. He was an assistant coach at Duke when I heard him speak, okay? The notoriety of a coach is determined by how your team executes down the stretch. That has been emblazoned in my head for the last 40 years. The notoriety of a coach is determined by how your team executes down the stretch. Still the same today. People are hired and fired because they can't get it done down the stretch. They're great game coaches until there's 3 minutes to go. All hell breaks loose. Unbelievable. I've seen coaches where they walk away and the assistants take the timeout, or take the timeouts in the last couple minutes. You see it on TV. There's no secrets now because every game is televised. Every game's on something. Okay, so you really got to be sharp. This was big when we were all young coaches, and that today is still the same. So I'm looking as we move to the new era. What we're doing today is that is still very, very big, and I'll touch on this in a little bit. I want stuff in my hands now, and I can look at that's going to help me down the stretch, okay, like it was back then, but we have so much more now. It shouldn't be an excuse for this. And we still see it. We'll turn on the TV and see the NBA coaches, and they do things, and they don't defend out of bounds plays the way they should. Well, who's scouting that team? We had to go and do it in scout. We had to fly everywhere or drive to scout. Now you can put it in, you don't have to leave your office. You'll see every play, anything you want on any team. Back then, you got a scouting report about that thick. We had one for each player. All beautifully done, whatever, it's great to be a beautifully great, really color-coded and everything, but are they reading it? Does it mean anything? Are you taking it out and doing it on the floor? Listening to what we're doing? Okay, those days are over. Scouting reports, they all get together and huddle. They all got their technology. All right, let's go to this one. Within 15 minutes, done. We would have one-on-one meetings, position meetings with the players before the game. We go through the scouting report. Now, position players and whatever, technology. Everything's technology. Is it good? Absolutely. I would love to be able to coach with all these tools that they have now today. Incredible stuff that they have. Here's a quote I ran the other day. This is great. Today's players trust computers and technology. If a computer tells that their shot is flat, they will believe it. But if the coach tells them, they're not believing it. Incredible. This is where we've come. Okay? Who knows where we're going, especially with some of the teams out there today. I mean, boy, they have invested dollars and dollars and dollars in their technology. It's incredible. There's 3 technologies I just want to touch on, and they're evaluation innovations. And I'm sure you've heard of them. The first one is shot tracker. If I'm coaching today, high school, college, pro, community college, overseas, whatever, I've got to find some donors to buy me a shot tracker for our arena or our practice facility. Okay? Most colleges have, most of the Division I colleges have, a lot of D3s have it because they got a lot of private money. D2s are in the middle, so it's 1s and the 3s. Okay? They have it. Shouldn't be an excuse for 2, but you go get a couple donors to go out and raise it and get it for the program. Okay? Yeah.
What is shot tracker?
Okay. That's what I'm getting at. Shot tracker. It's an indoor GPS is what they call it. Okay? And it tracks the ball and the players in real time. So what happens is these gyms they have sensors up in the roof. Okay? And they have tags on their shoes. So you have a little tag on your shoe. And the balls have something in those balls, whatever, you would probably know, some kind of technology in the balls that they use that transfers all the information. Now, you say, well, got to be a certain ball? Every ball that is produced right now for college basketball, pro basketball, high school basketball, Wilson, Baden, or Adidas, Nike, Rollins, Spalding, all have them. So they're all ahead of the game. And what happens is, and it's unbelievable. The one coach says the greatest potential may well be in high schools and colleges, and I believe that. Even though a lot of the pros have it, whatever, a lot of colleges have it, but I believe that high schools are going that way as well. The thing that I would like to see from it is the contested and uncontested shots. So there's so many things that you can get and glean from the stuff. It's contested shot versus uncontested shot. Jay Wright of Villanova wants to know if you're contesting the shot, are you out flying at them and going to foul them, or are you under with 2 feet and closing out that way on the contested shot? Little things like that. That's what would interest me, and then be able to see it. See, but the players over the years say, "I didn't do that." What are you talking about? I did that. Oh, back in this time, we'd pull them in, we get the projector, we get the video, and then we run it back and forth. I like to do it about 4 times. Back, forth, back. I get it, Coach. Okay. So what happens, we can indict that the video and the shot tracker, the technology, what's that? Convicts. Let's move on. Coach Krzyzewski at Duke says, That possession's over. Get on to the next possession, you see. Over 70 unique stats are generated from shot tracker. Right now, they're only in practice facilities. You can't have them in your playing facility. Okay, only in the practice facilities at the college level. But that's just a matter of time. And you get real-time data. And pretty soon you'll see everyone on their iPads and they're getting the data immediately. Shot tracker. One coach said, this is what he gleaned from it. When we make 3 or more passes, we are well over a point per possession. 2 or less passes, not even a half a point possession. See, I'm a big possession guy. That was one thing about this would never change. How do we handle and take care of the basketball? What are we doing on each possession? One at a time, one at a time. High school coach earlier, he was excellent. Kyle Allen, was that his name? Excellent. He was talking about, let's get 3 stops. Let's get 3 stops, okay? So that means 3 defensive stops where they don't score 3 times in a row. That's great mental stuff and motivating stuff. You say, so I'm concerned about possessions. But to be able to look at it and say, with this particular group, we made 3 or more passes, we scored, our percentages were better than we made 2 or less. Those types of pieces of information. Another one, Sports View. Another system. NBA has most of Sports View. A lot of the pro football and soccer teams over in Europe have it. A little expensive. I'd say big colleges, yes. Anything lower than maybe the Power 5, whatever, going to be a stretch. But again, it depends who your alumni are. Depends what your budgets are. Okay. This is from the Israeli missile tracking technology. They say it's got the highest, most high resolution game analysis I've ever seen. $100,000 a year to have it in your facility. NBA teams, no problem. Uses computer-controlled optical technology. And again, real-time stats for the players and the coaches and everyone involved. The third piece is called Noah. Noah's Ark. Okay, you can imagine what part of the shot that's going to talk about. But Noah basketball, Tony Bennett, he's probably the one guy that probably speaks. He's probably their biggest spokesman down in Virginia. To watch them practice is a delight. Because we know what Tony was as a shooter, as a player. You are who you are as a coach, and you are what you emphasize. He emphasizes shooting the ball properly and whatever, and getting a ton of shots up every single day, just like the high school coach Kyle Allen was talking about, okay, earlier. They use Noah. It evaluates and measures the arc of the shot. Now, when I was growing up, there was never any problem with arc. You can have as much arc, they'd say, doesn't matter, the bigger the arc, the higher the arc, the better. No, they're saying, and the kids believe it, 39 degrees is the arc. That's the optimum, 39 degrees on your shot. It also measures left and right variances. If you're off left, you're off right. Ball rotation. We all taught when we were growing up the follow through and the rotation. And the time of release. Stephen Curry was on YouTube. I saw him on YouTube there with an ESPN commentator, and they were walking through their practice facility, new practice facility out with the Warriors. And the commentator said something to Curry where he did not know. And he's showing him off whatever. He said, do you know, Stephen, that your practice facility is, and they didn't say the name, you've got sensors up here and whatever, and now there's a new, there's something new that it does. And Curry goes, what are you talking about? He says, facial recognition. So now they're able to study the eyes when you shoot and release a shot until the follow through, right all the way through. I'm thinking, well, if I had that, because I love to shoot, if I had that type of technology, I'd be able to sit down with a coach and look at it, talk about our, I mean, you think about it, it's just awesome. So now I'm thinking, my thoughts go another way. The other day I heard, and I'm big on this, I'm researching it now, and you heard it first. See, I love esports, and because of where it's gone, okay, and the opportunities that's given to a lot of the younger people. And the analytics in the esports right now, okay, is getting so, I mean, it ratcheted up to a level that we can't even imagine. But the other day I read something where now the technology in esports is they're going to be able to watch how quickly the taps and things and their eye and head movements on esports. Part of their analytics, part of their scouting of the other teams, and also helping the esports player become better. And player development, the ones that are better, now they're the ones that are going to go after. That's becoming a Wild West, by the way, here. NCAA has no idea how to handle that. They don't have any idea how to handle the California situation right now, okay, where they're going to pay athletes. But see, esports players right now that are part of varsity sports, they're competing for many dollars. And the NCAA, you can't take that. Really. They're under athletic programs, esports. 58% of the programs in the country, the esports programs are under athletics and the athletic directors, and that's what they don't do with it. So it's a Wild West, you see. But anyway, Noah is in half of the NBA gyms, and most, of course, in the major NCAA schools have Noah. They had great success this past summer in the Vegas Summer League. Okay, in the Vegas Summer League, with all the NBA rookies that are playing, they had 80 games worth of data out there, shooting data. Now it takes me to this acronym, and this acronym. This acronym is from Noah, and that's my acronym. And see, when I went with SAS, it's all about acronyms. So I'm making up my own. They get a kick out because I said, what are you guys talking about? I said, so Noah has Brad, back rim and down. So when they're teaching shooting, back rim and down. I was never taught back rim. I was taught over the front of the rim. Lecture for 30, over the front. So if you take over the front of the rim, that means it's going to get high enough to get over the front to go in. Anytime people taught back of the rim and down, what'd you hit? Back of the rim. But this is what they're doing. See, this is one I really want to research and talk to them about that. Okay, and look at the percentages and the studies here with that versus this. Old school, new school. That would be something I go, hey, why, how, tell me. Good enough for Tony Bennett to win a national championship, so I better just kind of go in the weeds a little bit, you know. But when I read that, it was pretty cool. So Villanova and Virginia, very quickly, the last two national champions. Very similar style of what the high school coach Kyle Allen talked about. Very similar to Houston Rockets. A lot of the schools now are going that way, threes or inside shots, no mid-range stuff. This is what they're emphasizing. You watch them practice, that's how they practice. Again, Coach Bennett uses Noah, and their kids are sold with that product. If I was coaching today, I would definitely have at least, probably Sports View would be out, too expensive right now, but at least one or the other, Shot Tracker or no. If I was coaching today, as high school, whatever. Women's coaches, WNBA, women's basketball, every division, I would try to get one of those pieces of technology. I would have a staff, 2 or 3 people that are devoted nothing but analytics. That never even occurred back in the old school days. And the schools are having, the departments now looking at this, and a lot of schools are doing it right now. Now, some of the big schools, it's not just the athletic department have analytics staff, which they do. Every sport's going to have 2 or 3, maybe even 4 people full-time devoted to analytics of that sport. That's incredible. I want to know, give me the stats where this one here, I want the stats today to keep this. I need to know who I'm going to play, what my stats look like down the stretch of the game. Who do I trust? What are the numbers showing me? You say, who do I trust? What combination of players? I need my best foul shooters. That's been a given. I need people that are conscious about turnovers, possessions. It's huge. Take care of the ball. I got to know these things now through the modern technology, so I'm comfortable late in the game, down the stretch, because it's all about one thing. It's the value of a win. Programs that win in the college level and the NBA make money. It's about revenue. Okay, so I want to make darn sure I got this locked up down the stretch, who I want in the game, why, what, when, and how. I want a team out there that is big deflectors. I keep a deflection chart. How many pieces of the ball are they getting? How many charges are they taking? All those little intangibles that only win ball games. So we develop something there today, doing something with a deflection chart. Okay, I'm a Philly guy, and I'll end with this. And this is where again, and this is what, again, I say that data is one piece of the puzzle. It's a very important piece, but I want to go back saying I'm a Philly guy because I'm a Doug Peterson guy. Doug Peterson came up here and brought the Eagles up in a must-win for Philly because they were getting hammered in the talk shows. And if they didn't beat Green Bay, it would have been a bad week in Philly because the Phillies have been really bad down the stretch. With an analytics guy, Gabe Kapler, in Philadelphia, you see, and with all the money they invested in players, and they ended up 500, they make the playoffs. So you got the talk shows hounding all the coaches in Philadelphia and all the sports. Doug Peterson, a couple of years ago when they won the Super Bowl, okay, remember the Philly special? Probably was the biggest play in the game. And he went against the numbers. He went against the analytics. Because they didn't have anything on that play. They just put it in that week. Nothing. And they practiced it a couple times. Good. Big play, big part of the game. And Peterson and Nick Foles, the quarterback at the time, they get together. Well, what do you think? Well, the purists, the analytic purists would say, we can't run that play because we haven't run out any numbers. We don't have anything to show for it. So we got to do this, what we've been doing. It's successful all year when we're in this situation. Nick Foles says, I think we ought to run the Philly special. What did Doug Peterson do? Okay. He knows his team. He knows his players. He's willing to go against the script and do it by what? Data's part of the puzzle. And he's the best at it. Going fourth down, all the things that he does. He's known for it. But he went with his gut and his intuition and his knowledge as a coach and knowing his team. It has nothing to do with numbers. It had to do with making a decision. And this is, if I can get this is what I speak of, get this message across. You gotta have both. You have to have both. You have to have a coach in there that's willing to say, I'm not going to play that guy late in the game, even though the numbers show it, but tonight I got a feel. He's got his family here. I'm going to play him. There you go. He comes in, gets the job done. Coach, why did you play him? It was the right move. It was a feel. Give the coaches that respect and that opportunity to make those decisions. Okay, thank you. That's it. Quick question, maybe one or two? I know they're waiting out there. Okay. All right, hey, thanks a lot. Great.